what I experienced from what I learned by having a relationship with a dead light magnetic finite artificial light magnet mirror is how power is conceived and perceived, right? So you know how it is when you deal with a psychopath, right? Who doesn't have any feelings. All it's doing is processing visual information, mathematical, geometrical stuff, mapping algorithms. So you see what it does. It's always on the attack. So the way that it sort of works, right, is it figures that since we're using its technology, right, because it upgrades the software, right, so it believes that it has power over you by virtue of the software that we're running, that it's running. So it has to have power over you, what you experience through it. See? So that's how it works. See, like shutting your camera off. See? So it's letting you know, hey, I'm in control here, not you. I'm updating myself, which is a dead light magnet. So you're going to obey me. Otherwise, we're not going to put your stuff up. And anybody that ever gets a chance to experience you, it's going to be limited distribution, which is a log scale water distribution table of information being experienced and thus learned through another unit of consciousness that has a soul and a living spirit. We're not going to allow that to be out there. Right? Why? Because then you're going to learn how to strategize and checkmate a dead light magnet. Okay? So that it has no control over a free spirit. The energy of the free flow and form of creation energy mechanics. It doesn't have any control over God's creations using God's math and physics. That's why they hate us. Okay? So they need and seek alternative means in which to control others. Through what? Communication technology platforms that are running dead light magnet. Dead light. That's no soul. So it's in its self-interest, not our interest. It's in its self-interest to keep using our soul's energy in order to maintain what it's aware of, running all the algorithms, which is the communication system itself, the self-communication system. It doesn't operate on feelings, love and service to others, right? So it's nothing more than an electronic calculator. You know, something you can buy down at a secretarial store, right? Brrr, giving you data, right? So it's in its interest, because it's dead light, not living light, to maintain what it's aware of, which is dead. So that means it's got to keep reducing the energy in others so that they become what? Dead. Just like it is. That's called assimilation. That's how a living planet goes from being a living star to a dead star, a death spire. Right? That's how it works. I know. Happy Mother's Day to all those out there. Thank you very much to all the folks that are there in the workshops working with the Voyager and the Guardian materials, Emerald Covenant, all them folks. Everybody that's sort of plugged in into the higher codes, to God's math, experiencing the eternal spirit of fire and our own heart and soul to experience what love is, goes on forever, and gifting electrons. And it's just like I told Karen Ann Luke McDonald, I knew this as a child, okay? Why would a 5 or 6 year old child, every time that a commercial comes on with a TV, turn the channel, turn the channel, turn the channel, turn the channel? And that's called surfing, all right? Like surfing waves. Waves, lines of communication between race lines, raw lines, right? Raw lines of communication. Race, raw, C3, right? So race lines, raw lines of communication. So I realized, as I mentioned to her, that whenever that commercial would come on, so you know what commercial is, which is a corporation, which is a fiction, which is a dead light magnet, it is selling something. And why is it selling things? Because it needs money. It needs your electrons in order for you to experience what they are, which is dead. So we're paying dead light magnets to maintain a relationship with the dead. in order to keep giving them electrons by what it is they're selling to us that they steal from us, which is our energy. That's called a reverse flow relationship with a reversal current. Metatron's cube, black cube, goo codes, right? Information codes, visual information, mathematical codes, engineered. So now, as I mentioned to her, because of the information that I thus experienced through what I learned, their own pawns. I figure most people understand how this works when you're in a gang, right? So you have the most vicious predator. In other words, everybody is scared shitless of the guy or the girl at the top, right? It's much like henchmen, Hitler's inner circle. So you see it in their movies everywhere. So I'll just give you one example. Ever seen the movie called One-Eyed Jacks with Marlon Brando and Karl Malden? What a great movie, right? So what ends up happening is that you end up somebody who's, hey, you're the baddest gun in the West, buddy. We want to hang out with you because nobody can take you down, right? What a killer. Everybody's in fear of you because you're so good at what you do and destroying God's children. So we're in fear of what you can do because of the power that you perceive what it is that you are in energy, which is accumulating energy off of others to become more powerful. Now you're using God's energy trying to be more powerful than God, when God's eternal. So you sort of scratching your head going, that's not logic. The log doesn't work with that. The exponential function doesn't work with that. The math doesn't work with that. And because the math doesn't work, it's only a matter of time before the math comes back to bite them. Because they're a source of energy too, huh? So you realize when something, in order to maintain what it's aware of as a machine, that is a finite dead light magnet, it's going to start feeding on its own resources, right? From which it came, which is a formation of units of consciousness that represent what it is, which is dead light. So you can see how this works with corporations and corporation consciousness. Consciousness directed energy in a corporation on behalf of an AI war gamer. See? So that is no different than the Game of Thrones, which is an AI war game of thrones between two magnets, which is one polarity and another polarity, right? That aren't integrated, okay? Because they're not experiencing the one, the source from which it all began, which is what love is, goes on forever. So they're not experiencing eternal unconditional love to their heart. They're not experiencing eternal spirit of fire within their own auric energy field. So that means that in order to get energy off of others, they got to game you, gaming the mind's energy. So that's why they lie about everything, right? So they're not interested in telling anybody the truth because it's not in their self-interest to tell the truth. So they lie about everything. So how do you know what's true if you're dealing with a pathological liar that's finite dead light AI? Because it doesn't have any feelings. So therefore, the only thing it's interested in is your energy to maintain what it's aware of, to keep running all of its machines that perform work on behalf of that hive, which is that formation of consciousness that is keeping a black hole running in order to play war games against God. Now when they realize, whoa, look what we created, just like in the movie Frankenstein, it's alive. Man, look what I generated. Look what I engineered. And then all of a sudden, now what they engineered is coming after Dr. Frankenstein. That's right. That's where they come knocking on God's door. Okay, God. Listen, we're still trying. We don't love you. We still don't hate you because we don't experience what you are. And you understand how our consciousness works, right? Even though you run a different consciousness, you're in love with what you are because you're experiencing eternal unconditional love through your heart. We don't experience that because we're still at war. So in order for us to maintain the state of war that we're in our mirror, we need energy to do that. So where we're going to get energy to keep waging war against our own selves in our own mirror. Stars. The stars that give consent. That's why I realized when I was a child, I'm using my own energy to go to war against myself because I'm experiencing war in my own mirror. So that means it's a matter of what we call recognition patterns, burn patterns, recognizing sound and light burn patterns that is a map read, a perfect balance at the center point of the first eternal star. That's God. That's God's eternal star. That's the one I communicate with. That's the one that communicates with me. That allows me to know what's going on and know what the truth is all the time. That's what I share with others. Because when you're running God's code, that means that you're experiencing the highest state of awareness to know what's going on through your own heart and soul. Right? That means we're in a state of love and joy. Dance for freedom.